the approach to the 110. Now in the carpool lane, eastbound on the 110 freeway through South Los Angeles. A driver of a stolen red car. Not sure if there is more than one person in the vehicle, but LAPD is in pursuit right now. And you can see the driver speeding up, passing a number of cars on the freeway as traffic starts to loosen up. This all started just about 15-20 minutes ago with the 77th Division of LAPD. And it looks like the LAPD officers have let the driver get a little bit ahead. They don't want to put full pressure on while he's on the freeway in a lot of traffic, because they don't want to do anything that is going to sort of make this driver panic any more than they are right now. But the driver trying desperately to get away in what we believe is a stolen vehicle, that red Kia Sorento. Traveling looks to be about 75, 80 miles an hour, going well past the speed of traffic. And you can see sort of just going back and forth, floating between those lines. Some pretty close calls. And perhaps exiting here. He has been using that shoulder to pass other vehicles on the lower level now. And exiting, looks like he'll be on surface streets again. We believe this is a stolen car pursuit in the South Los Angeles area, a red Kia Sorento. We don't know how many people are in the car, but it started with the 77th Division of the LAPD. The driver refused to stop, refused to yield to those officers, and just took off on the 110 freeway, stuck in traffic for a little while in downtown. Looks like he's going through a back alley. Again, this is South Los Angeles. Oh, somebody walking right there, had no idea it's coming, losing control a little bit of the vehicle over those bumpy roads, going well over the speed limit there in this alleyway between businesses. So a quick left turn and onto residential streets in South Los Angeles, really picking up speed right here. Again, this is where it gets dangerous, because he's making these quick moves. Anybody who's out on the street this afternoon will not be anticipating this, will not expect that a car is going to come flying around the corner that quickly. All right, so coming up to a busy intersection, he does stop at the stop sign. And he's being forced to stop because of the oncoming traffic. Making a left turn onto Century Boulevard right now. You can see a lot of traffic, but he doesn't seem fazed. This guy is really speeding up right now into a busy intersection. Looks like he might have run a red light there because there is oncoming traffic. So through two intersections against a red light. Coming up on another red light, and you can see he just eases right through there. Right turn off of Century Boulevard onto the 110 freeway, entering the freeway again. And we just saw he got off the freeway briefly in South Los Angeles. You can see LAPD tracking overhead as well. So he was going eastbound on the 110 freeway, northbound now on the 110. After a quick exit onto surface streets, maybe he just got too caught up in that traffic there and thought it was a better route to get back on the freeway. So the car we're looking at is that red Kia Sorento, now in the carpool lane, northbound 110 through South Los Angeles. LAPD with their helicopter overhead, keeping a good eye on this suspect and also tracking from behind. There are police cars right behind that vehicle. Speeding up just a little bit here. It looks like traffic has eased up a bit. Ran into some traffic earlier near the Coliseum. Exited the freeway on Century Boulevard. Drove for a little while through some back streets, some alleys there in South Los Angeles, and now back on the northbound 110 through South Los Angeles. Again, we really don't have much information about this driver, except that he did not yield to officers. You could see the LAPD SUV coming up right behind him there. Looks like traffic's pretty wide open right now, moving along at a good clip. He's made some erratic moves, some very quick lane changes on the freeway, ran a couple red lights while on the surface streets. Is he coming to a stop? Looks like he's stopped on the freeway right now. So we'll try and zoom in, get you a better picture of what's going on. And not sure what this is all about. It certainly didn't look like he was running out of gas because he was maintaining a pretty good speed. LAPD officers out of their cars. They've got the cars open. You see they'll take that defensive posture right there. And boy, this is a tricky situation for those officers because they've still got traffic going by on the freeway. So they'll be yelling out commands. They'll want this driver to open the door, First instruction will be to throw the keys out. They want to make sure that the car is in park. Looks like he just tried to play a little trick on the LAPD officers, but they've seen this before. Door came open. The driver did not exit the vehicle, took off again, but now he is slowing. So the LAPD is right behind him again. They're probably on the loudspeaker right now, telling him to pull over and cooperate. They'll want him to bring that vehicle to a complete stop, open the driver's door, throw the keys out, and come out with their hands up. But it looks like this driver is really indecisive, not sure what he wants to do. And we're saying he, but it could be a woman. We don't have any information except that this driver took off from LAPD. All right, looks like he's going to pull over to the shoulder right now. But the car just creeping along on the 110 freeway. This is the northbound 110 in South Los Angeles. We've got, looks like about 4 or 5 LAPD cars, and he takes off again. So this is the second time that he appeared to comply with the officers, pulled off to the side of the freeway, and just when the officers get out of their vehicles and take that defensive mode, took off again, and this time speeding up. Again, we just saw that LAPD chopper overhead. He's in the HOV lane there on the 110 freeway northbound. Stolen red Kia Sorento. LAPD in pursuit right now, and we've seen some erratic moves. Jasmine Veal is joining us right now. And Jasmine, you've been watching this from the newsroom as well.
Right, and very alarming when you dip into this video, and I saw it just in those few seconds when the SUV went speeding down some of those side streets in the alleys, barely missing a pedestrian that was coming out of another entrance. And
yeah, walking right by the garbage dumpster there. That was
right.
Pretty scary.
Right, and I didn't see any officers following very close behind. And as you've probably mentioned, they tend to back off. And now you see the officer following him on the freeway here. But, you know, they tend to back off and not wanting to, make it worse or make him more agitated.
Right, exactly.
And we do have Stu Mendel. Is that what we're hearing?
Yeah, Stu's on the telephone. Stu, what do you see and what do you hear?
Well, I joined in right when he did his first little whoopsie-dope when he stopped, and he like he was going to get out of the car, and then he got back in, and then he did it again. You always kind of wonder what the driver of that car, what the suspect is thinking on something like that. I mean, is he like really just playing with these officers? Is he maybe not in the right mental state? Maybe he's really getting a little confused on what's going on, that would make this whole thing so much more scary if that was the case, because now you've got this guy behind the wheel. I mean, if he can't figure out, I got to get out of this car and give up, and now he's actually driving. The one thing I got to say is he just got up. It looks like they're up on the carpool lane there. But the one thing is that the officers from LAPD, they are allowed to do the pit maneuver. We've actually seen them do a pit maneuver one time on the 110 freeway. But we lost the picture. Up its back. But when you're up on that upper level area right there, they are not going to do that. They're not that one vehicle right there is not going to do that pit maneuver up there in that situation. But we have seen them do these maneuvers in the past. And if you look down there, the actual freeway itself seems pretty light to almost empty. And that may be because the officers stopped the traffic when this felony stopped. Well, when the pursuit came to a stop the first time, they probably stopped all the traffic, and that created a little bit of a cushion. But now it looks like the chase continues on there. I don't know exactly. I'm not in the helicopter. I'm on the phone. But it definitely looks like they're southbound on the 110 freeway. The car seems to be slowing down again. So maybe there's an issue with the vehicle. Maybe he's just biding his time. But the officers from LAPD, they've got a deal on their hands right now with this guy stopping and going.
Yeah, Stu, you mentioned that they won't do a pit maneuver, won't try a pit maneuver while they're on that upper deck of the freeway. Is that because the vehicle might fall below?
Oh, definitely. That's safety is their biggest concern with any of these types of. When any types of pit maneuvers or any type of intervention into a pursuit, they're going to want to stop that vehicle in a safe manner. And with those guardrails right there, anything could happen. And even with this guy getting out right now in that kind of weird state, we've seen him in the past. We've seen a suspect jump off of an overpass. So right now it looks like the window's down, and it looks like the car is rolling from what I can see from the cameraman doing a great job there with that tight shot. But it hasn't stopped. And this kind of makes me wonder, too, is why doesn't somebody shoot out in front, especially in this situation, maybe try to block him in, get this vehicle to forcefully come to a stop, especially when you got those two barricades on both sides.
It's kind of hard to see inside that vehicle, Stu. It looks like he's got some pretty dark tinted windows. And of course, that's a problem for LAPD as well, because often they'll use the chopper overhead to get a good look at what they're dealing with.
Oh, definitely. And in the past, they've actually, not giving away any industry secrets, but they've actually asked us in the past, to just out to the media, said, can you see if this person has a gun? Can you see if there's another person in there? The LAPD, they do fly a lot lower and a lot faster, but our cameras are definitely way better than what they have. So they actually lean on us every now and then for that as well. Very slow moving. It does look like he has some flat tires there. Was there a spike strip involved earlier on?
I don't know, but if those are flat tires, and I think you're right, on the driver's side, it looks like both the front and the rear tires might be flat. We didn't see the spike strip, so if they deployed it, I'm not sure when that happened.
Or he hit something in an alleyway.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But he was going pretty fast up until a little while ago. And
you can see them kind of inching closer there. Now 5 of these police officers trailing him slowly and just kind of biding their time, waiting for him to come to that complete stop, which it looks like he has, in that stolen red Kia Sorento in the middle of the 110 freeway northbound. And it probably is very lucky. And Stu, you mentioned not a lot of traffic because it's not rush hour, but we live here in LA and we know there's always some sort of traffic. But maybe they were able to kind of mitigate that or stop some of the cars because they have clearance all around this guy. And we're just kind of waiting to see when police will make their move. Oh, he's rolling again. So I don't know if he's teasing them or if he is having some car function problems.
Yeah, well, now definitely with those flat tires, that's going to definitely inhibit the speed on that vehicle. And but we have seen it in the past. We've seen him go without wheels or without tires. The wheels are always kind of stay, but we've seen him go. This guy really just counting his seconds to minutes here of time not in custody. That really looks like what's going on. And also something too, just that I just noticed is that the LAPD vehicles right there, they don't have a nice gesture. Don't have those push bars on front of their vehicles. But that doesn't mean necessarily that they won't do a pit maneuver, especially at low speeds like this. But when there was that wide shot just moments ago, you saw that last LAPD vehicle doing what's called a round robin, basically driving across all those lanes of the freeway, keeping the traffic back. I'm sure if we could see it, it's going to be a backup back there. And you can see those officers blocking the traffic, so it gives them enough room to operate safely. And so this is what they're dealing with right now with that suspect. But this is one of those ones where this person is just really just being defiant, basically saying, you know what, I do what I want. I'm gonna drag this out as long as possible, and it just creates a lot of inconvenience for so many people that need to be places that are on that freeway this afternoon.
Yeah, in a dangerous situation. A lot of people out there don't know what's going on. We know there's a traffic break up ahead, Stu, so it looks like LAPD was able to clear the freeway at least for a little distance up ahead, and then we see all those LAPD cars behind, stopping traffic behind this as well, and you can see they're just moving in a little bit closer. And Stu, can you tell us what's going on as far as communication between the officers and the driver of that car?
Well, right now there may be some loudspeaker commands going on. They may be saying, "Hey, we need you to get out of the vehicle," or "Don't go." They might actually be even saying that. But this whole stop and go cat and mouse thing, again, I'm sure it's even frustrating for the officers. They don't want to deal with this. They don't want to. It's not a game for them. This is serious business for the LAPD, and so it might be kind of goofy to watch on television where he kind of moves and then he stops and moves and stops and is all defiant. But for those officers, I can imagine it's getting pretty trying for them. I wish I could, listen in and get an idea of what's going on as far as advice from their supervisors saying, can we pit this? Are we allowed to? Can we block them in? Because a lot of times that information will come down from above, and then we get a little bit of a heads up so we know what's going to happen. But in this case right now, it's just this kind of weird, I don't even know what to call that, like duck goose type of thing where he's just like, oh, got a little close, I'm going to move away. And but with those 4 flat tires, you got to think too, why is it, if this person is so hardcore, why is he not just driving like a maniac, shredding those tires? He obviously has some concern about that vehicle. He doesn't want to damage it more than he's already done. But right now, it looks like definitely 2 flat tires, maybe more out here on the 110 freeway, just inconveniencing a lot of people.
Right. Well, won't he eventually come to, as Sandy mentioned, the roadblock up ahead by those officers? So he only has so far he can really go, I'm guessing, and the fact they don't know whether he's armed or not, so that could lead to a type of standoff situation. Have you seen this happen where, he can't go any further because they blocked off the, in front of him, so he's kind of quarantined now?
Oh, I've never seen anything like that, no. And I'm kind of wondering if they would do that type of maneuver. If there's something like that going on ahead, then maybe I don't see why some of these officers just don't get in front of the vehicle and try to block it in. Right now, though, this is an extremely wide part of the freeway. In Los Angeles, we've got, even though they're always packed, we have huge freeways out here, and you can see he's got plenty of places to maneuver, turn the wheel, make their way around, try to get away from this person, but get away from the officers. But right now, this is just kind of weird, oh, you can't touch me type of game going on. I'm sure, it's annoying for me to watch it. I can just imagine what those officers down there are thinking right now. They just want to get this guy into custody, get those cuffs on him, get that car off the road, and then, of course, reopen the freeways.
All right, this is South Los Angeles, northbound 110 freeway shut down behind this driver of a suspected stolen red Kia Sorento. You can see LAPD is behind him just past the MLK Boulevard area and just moving, inching along really slowly. And look at that, Stu, takes off again.
It's kind of interesting because I'm being serious. I really just kind of joining it, and it just dawned on me, this is supposedly a stolen vehicle. And if it is stolen, then why is he so tender with the car, even with the flat tires? But now, obviously, he's on the go. Officers from LAPD probably still right behind him. I'm really wondering why they're not going to just try to implement that pit maneuver. There are no other vehicles on the freeway. You've got this wide open area, but of course, that's a pay grade well above me. So right now, LAPD just chasing this guy with a couple flat tires here on the freeway after some of this you can't get me type of stuff, or I'm going to give up. Oh, no, I'm not. So right now, we'll try. I understand the problem that the helicopter's having right now. He's probably working with his pilot, trying to get into a position where they can follow him. But you can see right there, we're getting our way up to Adams in downtown Los Angeles. And it's kind of a cool shot right there, too. You've got other officers that are in the area. I always say that. Just because there's nobody right behind them doesn't mean that there aren't officers in the area making their way closer to where he's at. He already got off.
Yeah, he got off the freeway, and it looks like no officers were in front of him. Somehow he didn't have any traffic, but now this is taking that other dangerous turn back on these, city streets with a lot of cars and traffic
bicyclists.
lights.
We can see bicyclists out there.
And then you got a couple of skateboarders down there. It is Los Angeles. I haven't seen the car pop out yet. I see people pulling over, so they're obviously hearing those sirens. There it is, making its way now southbound. I'm guessing that's going to be might be Broadway that far over, but or Main. But he's making his way. And like you said, this changes the dynamic totally. Now he has a vehicle that's impaired. If he drives at high speeds with all these other vehicles around, pedestrians, it makes it much, much more dangerous for that
stopping again.
For anybody.
Yeah.
For anybody.
Yeah, it's harder for him to control. It's also going to be pretty loud if you're moving along at a good speed with two flat tires.
Right.
And we say two, there could be four. We don't know. We haven't gotten a good look. Really fast through that intersection.
Oh, I'm sorry. One of my friends was just texting me. But yeah, he's slowing down. He might have done that so that he had a place to get around or out of the way from the other vehicles. We've seen that a lot of times too, where if they're chasing him, they'll come up to like a group of cars and he'll kind of stop making a decision. How can I get out of this situation? But right now, a little bit higher speeds. He's using that center lane right there, and I got to tell you, I get so worried when they get out here around other vehicles, and now he has those flat tires, and he's trying to drive a little bit faster. His attention divided. He's driving. He's being chased. Obviously, there's adrenaline. So you just worry about anybody that's in the area, and you just don't want to see this thing come to an end badly with somebody innocent being hurt.
Right. He's had the best of luck in terms of barely any traffic. It looks like he just went under the 110 freeway. We're waiting for him to pop out on the other side in this stolen red SUV, this Kia Sorento.
Getting back onto the freeway.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. So now he has made his way back onto the on-ramp, southbound, I believe now, if this is still the one.
Yeah, it looks like he turned around.
Right.
And Stu, we were mentioning the flat tires. As we zoom in a little bit from the camera, it's kind of hard to tell. Maybe they aren't flat, but...
I think they are. They might just be thicker tires. The cameraman's having a little bit of an issue. Somebody could tell him it's to the south. Follow the freeway south. He's down south. But at any rate, yeah, that vehicle definitely has some flat tires going on down there. And the officers from LAPD, I just can't see why they're not taking advantage of it. There must be something else to this. Again, usually I have at least an ear or at least one or two reasons, being told one or two reasons why they're not doing the pit maneuver. And like you said, it is a stolen vehicle. There might be a possibility that maybe this person was armed.
Did you see that, Stu? It looks like it's throwing something out of the car right there.
Yeah, now he's starting to just throw, whatever's probably in the vehicle. He's just throwing things out, just trying to be weird and defiant. And you just, we always say that, we just don't know what they're thinking. And thank goodness we don't think like a lot of these folks, because you just don't understand what they're doing, why they do these things. But right now with that vehicle with possible flat tires and just driving like this on the freeway and now in
exiting
traffic.
Again, and there he goes, I think, on another
getting
off-ramp.
really close to that pickup truck, too.
Yeah.
All right, so exiting the southbound 110 back onto surface streets near downtown Los Angeles and picking up speeds.
This was near MLK Boulevard, but I'm guessing he's past that, so we're trying to figure out exactly
red
what
light
street.
again.
Oh, so close.
Gage. They're on
Figueroa? Okay, we're hearing
Gage.
this is at Figueroa, so if you're in the area, a heads up here.
Wow.
Yeah, as he picks up speed here.
Yep.
Possibly on these flat tires that I'm surprised he can drive this fast. We're not sure if he's armed. This has been going on for the last almost 45 minutes to an hour now in the South LA.
Oh, that was really close, Stu. And it looks like he's wobbling and losing control there. And it just seems like in the past few moments he has really amped up the erratic driving. He's just going so fast.
Yeah.
Northbound?
Yeah.
All right. This is northbound now, folks, on Figueroa, Stu.
Yeah, northbound on Figueroa. Yeah, he got off at Gage. That was the off-ramp that he got off on. And those tight things like that, you just got to think sometimes, doesn't the driver just go, wow, that was a close call.
Right.
I don't want to push it. And
he has nothing to lose. Right.
Yeah, but he does. He can hurt innocent people. He can hurt himself. And you can see LAPD. I haven't seen any of the officers, and usually we are able to hear the scanners, but I don't see any of those officers behind them. So maybe they've backed off a little bit. Maybe that's what the plan is right now, just to give this guy a little bit of room, and hopefully he'll just stop and get out. But right now it looks like he's just driving faster.
Yeah, he's going in circles.
And just kind of going in circles out here, just right around the 110 freeway.
Now you get people giving him high fives.
People are shaking his hand,
cheering him on.
So obviously these people knew that he was coming to the area somehow. Stu, I get the impression that when this started, he was just kind of playing around through a stop sign right there.
Oh,
erratic turns.
Big U-turn.
Oh, now it appears he's just showing off.
Yeah, he's just making donuts.
Stu, I didn't get the impression that he was trying to get away at first, that he was just toying with officers, but boy, it looks like it's changed in just the past few moments.
Well, maybe he's got some other ideas what he wants to do, but again, obviously no plan involved. This person isn't thinking reasonably, and I got to remember too. I'm watching the live, so I'm a little bit behind you guys, but he's obviously just taunting officers. This is basically what's going on right now. Just a lot of taunting going on, and the officers aren't right there behind him, and it is almost like he's saying, "Hey, look, I don't have any attention. Come like a bad child." He's like, I'm just going to go do bad things until you guys.
All right, here comes LAPD. He's stopped, and
Yeah.
LAPD approaching, but now they've got other people.
He's throwing stuff out of the car at some of the people there on the side of the street. And then he speeds off. And, it's now summer break for many kids. So, you've seen skateboarders out here. You've seen, obviously, some of the homeless encampments. So these are streets that are pretty crowded right now, just with pedestrians, with people walking around.
He might know this area.
Yeah.
If it is a stolen vehicle, possibly he's a transient in himself or a homeless person, and maybe he just had an opportunity to take this vehicle, and that's how all this came to be. But again, it does seem like he knows this area. It's not too difficult to navigate streets. We all do it every day, but
Wow.
he seems to really know where he's going out here and what. In at least this neighborhood, especially around the freeway. He seems to be pretty familiar with this.
Yeah, he's going right back in the same area again. Just made a really erratic U-turn about a moment ago, and approaching those LAPD officers past at least 3 LAPD SUVs head on. And he's gesturing out the window again, slowing down. You're right, Stu. It is like he's trying to get attention. Looks like the door's open.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't know what this is all about. His behavior has been unpredictable, obviously. Reckless, dangerous. He's taken those corners very tight.
And he's just flying around the corners. And looks like, I'll show you that close call.
Right.
Yeah.
On the right is from earlier, obviously, as he just sped through the intersection and nearly T-boned. A car nearly was T-boned.
Here comes another turn.
Okay. They're biding their time, and I know they don't want to agitate this driver anymore, but at some point, he's now shown how reckless and dangerous, and they need to bring this to an end.
Definitely, and that's one of the things too. It's the LAPD. They basically respond to a lot of the public. They watch a lot. It's very proactive as a police force, and they understand that the same thing. They don't want to see people get hurt. They listen to what people say, and a lot of folks are very concerned, like we are when we see a chase like this. But how do you bring it to an end? And when he starts acting reckless like that, he might hurt somebody on his own. He doesn't even need the LAPD around or anything like that. He might just, do something and hurt somebody. It is amazing to me that these officers can get so close to that vehicle and are unable to stop it. I can just feel the frustration that those officers are having right now. But this whole stop and go type of thing is really, it's wearing on my nerves, and I can't imagine what they're thinking down there. And obviously, I'll take the mulligan on that one for sure. Obviously, it just looked like the tires were flat. It was just the camera angle, but obviously those tires seem to be holding air pretty well, and this pursuit continues.
Unfortunately, right.
Yeah, so, and this is kind of interesting, too, that they haven't tried anything like that. Using the pit maneuver, bumping the rear vehicle, spinning it out, that's one thing, but they might have had opportunities, very busy streets. And they might have had opportunities to use a pit, to use those spike strips and just kind of get it in front of this vehicle, and that might bring this thing to an end.
Yeah, they had the freeway wide open for a while. They had stopped traffic up ahead, and traffic was stopped behind, and they didn't take any aggressive measure to bring this to an end. So, Stu, the officers who are in pursuit, they're not making the decisions, right? There's somebody in charge who's making the calls.
Well, they obviously are very well trained, highly trained. They understand the dynamics involved, so they are making their own decisions. But as far as the big decisions, like can we pit this guy,
right.
can we get a spike strip ahead of this vehicle, things like that. A lot of that goes through just like anything else. It's bureaucracy. There's a boss involved, and that person is probably watching. Hopefully, he's watching us right now, and they make these decisions. They'll pass it down. They'll say yes, go ahead, do the pit, or no, we're not allowed to do that, and it's probably because of policy. Bill keeps underneath the tree. This is up there. He goes again, But yeah, these chases, especially when they get long like this, it just you're just counting down the minutes. It's like sooner or later.
Oh, they got him.
Yeah,
Stu, I know you're a little bit delayed.
Yeah,
they did pit him, but he just spun around and took off in the opposite direction.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like they made contact.
No, they definitely made contact. There's no doubt about it. and really kind of, this is the thing is a lot of times if it doesn't disable the vehicle, it might wake that person up for a minute there, like, okay, they're not playing anymore. This is coming to an end. But obviously when this person goes and gets those cuffs on him, hopefully it's going to happen in a way that's peaceful. But again, these higher speeds right now, neighborhoods out here, South Los Angeles, we haven't seen a lot of folks, but we do see a lot of traffic, and a lot of these maneuvers are just so dangerous. They look pretty simple, but just think, if you were walking down there and this guy's barreling down at you, you'd have a total different opinion about what's going on.
Yeah, he's really erratic. I mean, his new favorite maneuver, it seems like, is to come up to an intersection and pull a quick U-turn. And he doesn't really care if there's a red light or a stop sign. He's just blowing through everything.
Yeah, and again, that's one of the things we've seen him come to an end so poorly, so many times where people are just driving. And like you said, somebody's running a red light, running a stop sign, and the other person, just driving, and all of a sudden they get into these accidents. It's devastating for the public, for the civilians. And you just hope that whoever's in those other cars isn't hurt. Right now, though, I can see that we're just kind of in these neighborhoods out here. The speed's relatively slower, a little faster than they should be, but so many people, again, he's getting to an areas where there's so many people out on the roadway, and a couple of those people out there cheering him on, like you said, that, LAPD definitely does not want to see that at all. And as long as he keeps those high speeds up and those maneuvers, at least now we know that the pit has been approved. So perhaps we'll see it again. Maybe the next one will be enough to bring this thing to an end.
Now, will they have LAPD, but will they ever call in eventually maybe another agency to help them out, the Sheriff's Department, CHP, because this is going on now.
The only way that happens is it's very official. They'll have to be out of the area, first of all. So it would have to be on the freeway, and then California. What?
Look at him now.
That definitely is a spike strip.
Yeah, that's what he's dragging.
Yeah.
He's dragging it from the back of the vehicle, and he lost it.
Trying to get it up, maybe trying to fling it off of the car.
So it just came off, and it's lying in the middle of the road now.
This is 54th
Whoa,
Street.
Okay.
Oh, they got him. They're pushing him up onto
they're done.
the sidewalk. They're going to do everything they can.
You could see him trying to keep control.
Smash into a parked car. Wow.
Wow.
All right.
That was an aggressive move by LAPD.
Yes, LAPD.
Wow.
Oh.
They said, we're ending this now.
Yeah.
Yep.
This one's over. They were done, and you saw them spin that car around. Another LAPD SUV came up, hit the vehicle as well from the other side, and then spun it right up onto the sidewalk and into that parked car.
And they didn't care. I mean, this was literally, let's do it now. This is our chance, and they got him.
Yeah.
Did he just
and it's
pop
so
out
funny how all of a sudden how timid this person who was so defiant earlier on is now so timid and like, okay, whatever you need, yeah, I'm good.
Right.
All right, looks like he's out
onto the hood of the police car.
Well, he doesn't have much room, right? Looks like he does not have a shirt on.
Watch this.
It was the spike strip then that started the end of this.
And pushing him across the street.
This unbelievable.
Wow.
And if you were wondering about the LAPD pursuit policies, I think that answered a lot of them for us. It looks like they're back into let's bring these things to an end as soon as possible.
Yeah, great job by LAPD with the
amazing work, amazing driving, and of course, getting this person off the road. Sadly, that hopefully that vehicle's insured. But wow, what an ending!
I'm just glad no one was walking around on the side. I mean, the timing has to be everything, obviously, and these officers, these police officers, like you said, highly trained. They know what they're doing. But just to see this again,
yeah, Stu, I don't think I've ever seen LAPD do that before so aggressively.
Well, again, you have to kind of think of all this, everything that's involved. These officers, they are people. They're just like you and I. And to be teased and taunted for so long, you've got to think there's a little bit of, I'm done with this. I'm going to bring this to an end now. and that's kind of what really just kind of went down there. It's amazing to see that SUV push that other one, that little Kia, around like that. But we know that the officers' vehicles, they're built for stuff like that. There
was
there
someone
were
in the
people
car
in that SUV that was hit. It looks like they're okay, but they're getting out. And LAPD talking to them right
limping
now.
a little bit.
He is
that
limping.
Poor gentleman with the headphones on, saying maybe I'm okay, but maybe a little bit injured on the smash that he took.
Yeah, it was a big collision. All right, Stu, thanks for helping us out this afternoon. We appreciate the coverage. Again, the end of a police pursuit in South Los Angeles, where LAPD taking very aggressive action, pushing the car up onto the curb and into another vehicle with people inside. We'll get some more information on this, and of course, we will have the very latest coming up on our KCAL 9 News at 4 o'clock this afternoon. We'll see you then.
Playing in it.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 M's in my bank account. In my bank account. Ready to gun it out. Ready to gun it out. Best friend, Kia Sorento game, bro.
Did it make it to the bank account at all? Any of it?
Yes, sir. It did.
Okay.
It did it. It did it.
Judgment for the plaintiff minus that emotional distress. $467 is your judgment. She admits she was going to pay you with her income tax. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
You happy? You happy? She needs to just stop trying to give out money. She knows she can't pay back. That's just period. That's it. That's all. I mean, just stop giving out money you know you don't have to give out. That's all.
Well,
it didn't say it's a loan, and it's not a loan.
We've been friends for too long for me to deny you anything. Like, if you need it, I'm gonna give it to you, but give it back when it's time to give it back.
Plaintiff Deborah Baker says when she got pregnant with her 14-year-old son, who was with her in court today, another man claimed him as his own. However, Deborah always knew the defendant could be her son's biological father. So she found him on social media last year and petitioned the court for a paternity test. Defendant Douglas Capon dated Deborah years ago until she ran off with another man. Douglas claims Deborah called him last year to say that he may be her son's father. So he moved in with Deborah and her son because he wanted to be in his son's life. Therefore, he hopes the DNA test proves that he is the child's biological father.
All right, and today we're here to establish some family status by way of paternity test. Is this the son? Okay, go ahead.
We started dating in October of 2003, and I dated him till about January of 2004. Mm-hmm. And then I just recently got a hold of him, or actually found him on Facebook.